We've got Small Business Administrator Linda McMahon joining us right now. Very good to have you, Administrator. I know the President's going to be in Wisconsin today talking about hiring American jobs and sticking with American jobs. But all of this comes with the backdrop of what's happening on the tax cut front and that it could be delayed. Are you hearing that we could be looking at a significant delay? Are you worried about that?
I haven't been privy to any upfront information. I'm hearing today, just as you are. I think it's important as we're looking for tax cuts and tax reform as it relates to small businesses, just to make sure that we bear in mind that there are many small businesses that are sole proprietorships, right. LLCs,
and they pay
subchapter S corporations.
Rate, right?
Sure, and that all that income flows through to them. So I'm hoping that any tax reform clearly does affect our small businesses only in a positive way.
Are you worried, though, and do the people, the small business men and women you talk to, express concern that a tax cut delayed might be one denied, and here something they've been looking forward to might not pan out right away, if at all?
Well, what I'm hearing really from our small businesses is how they can grow, and entrepreneurs who want to start businesses, which is what, you know, the President asked me to do at SBA. And that is to help them get access to capital, to counsel them in developing their business plans, and also to help with government contracting businesses. So I'm not hearing right now the tax issue as much as I am how can we start, grow, and develop our businesses. And this is a perfect time for me to be on because, you know, a week from now, April 30th through May 4th, we're going to celebrate National Small Business Week starting right here in Washington. So we're going to have a great kickoff.
Do you get a sense of that? I mentioned before, Administrator, that we have an administration dominated, at least in the economic game, by for want of a better term, Keynesian economist types, those who don't subscribe to sort of like the cut taxes across the board, the supply side mentality, not really Reaganites in that sense. Now, that, depending on your perspective, could be a good thing, bad thing, whatever. But that the real thirst for across-the-board sweeping, like revolutionary tax reform might not be there. Is that true?
Well, I think we've shown in the past clearly that tax cuts, in many instances, you know, have added to increase in revenue. I think in my, home state of Connecticut, we have seen increasing tax increases, and what we've done is reduce the tax base. We've driven a lot of high-income earners out of the state with those kind of policies. And so tax reform and tax reduction, I do believe, helps increase the tax base, and therefore we grow the economy from that.
You know, you mentioned what's going on in Connecticut, and then Governor Malloy has indicated he's not going to be running for a third term. Obviously, he could be reading the political tea leaves there. What did you make of that?
I haven't spoken to the governor, so I don't really know all that's behind his decision. He simply said he thought that he'd done a good job, but he was not seeking re-election. I just have to go with that.
All right, because you do harken back to this idea that the tax hikes that he oversaw didn't help the state as much as thought, and a lot of people were chased away, a lot of businesses, high-end income types. Do you think that's a reminder and a lesson here, or what?
Well, I do think that responsible tax laws are what we need, and I do believe that taxes are too high. I'd like to see tax cuts, but I'm anxious to see what the President's plan is for tax reform, and I have every confidence that he's going to do that and that it will have a positive impact on our businesses and on our general economy.
Do you worry that if it doesn't materialize this year, that none of that pans out?
I'm not worried as much about the timing. If we were talking 4 years from now, but if we are putting it back for a few months, I'm not that concerned that it's going to make, have dire circumstances this year.
Linda McMahon, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you very much, Neil.
All right.